and we talked on several things. How is the CSA?
Okay, so firstly, let me extend my thanks and appreciation to the Liberal Broadcasting Corporation for affording us the opportunity to be here and representing the Civil Service Agency of the Republic of Liberia. And also, I'm elated to be given the opportunity by the Fireburn and illustrious Director General of the Civil Service Agency in person of Josiah F. Joker Jr. to represent the institution in explaining and informing the Liberian people about the decisions that the Civil Service Agency is undertaking, the reform activities that the Civil Service Agency is undertaking. Currently, on the current president, Joseph Human Boycott Sr., and so we are elated to be here.
Okay, it's been close to 2 months since you took over at the CSA. Am I right on that? That was in February when you took over.
It was at the end of February.
February. Okay, so a month plus. But let's talk on. You were here the first time, and we talk on issues that you highlighted with regards with reforms in the institution. Talk about politicizing the institution. You talked about doing audit. Checking our credentials and all of those things and upgrading the institution. At that time, you were, acting and also playing your role as the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management. How far are we with the institution, firstly?
Okay, so like I said, my representation here today is a manifestation of those things that we spoke about the last time, especially as it relates to the plan. The current Director General of the Civil Service Agency has Honorable Josiah F. Joker Jr. In recent time, we've been aware through the print, the electronic, and some interactions. The Director General has been explaining to the Liberian people about those reforms activity. Taking into consideration, the first thing is that we honor his leadership has inherited a kind of civil service that may not have been playing its real active role as per the act, and he thought it wise that there is a need to reassert our position and help the government and help the people of the country of this country. And so basically, we are involved in a number of reforms activity. One of the first thing the Director General thought of is he has inherited a payroll that has been bad or a blotted payroll, like he would normally say. And so it is our responsibility to be able to audit that payroll. So we are going to be involved in a comprehensive human resource payroll and payroll management audit across the country, across 103 government spending entity. We are collaborating with the Ministry of Finance and that of the GAC, the General Auditing Commission, to make sure that that happens. And across another thing that he's interested in is to try to regularize the statuses of our civil service across the country, especially the 67,700 and some more civil servants that are within the employed of central government administration controlled by the Civil Service Agency. He's also aware that, they normally used to say in a few years back or a few months back that people had job but no work to do. And so he's interested in making sure that the issue of performance, human development, and that of time and attendance are taken into serious consideration. So we will be going across with our monitoring, evaluation, and strategic planning division to be able to visit the 103 government spending entity. He reiterated that yesterday as per the mandate of the civil service that that the 103 government entity will have to take into consideration time and attendance, and they will have to work in the confines of the 8 to 4 o'clock or the 9 to 5 o'clock working time.
Okay, so the last time the head of Civil Service Agency, Honorable Jokai, appeared at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism regular press briefing, and he highlighted on some of the reforms, or some of the verification you guys have been doing at the CSA with regards to, contracts and all of those things at the CSA. Now, how far are we, with regards to the progress in that? He also threw reference to reviewing some of those consultancy contracts and all of that, that verifying there were some ghosts and all in the process. You want to bring us up to speed on that at your institution, then we can go across.
All right. So the issue of independent consultant and consultant firms, and that has been working with the government for the last 12 months up to December. He came, and one of the things that he said on that day was to firstly the process has been hotter. He said he's going to bring a merit-based recruitment process to the issue of consultancy. He's trying to professionalize the workforce, and so the process has started and is almost at this finishing stage. We, through his instrumentality, we have drafted the consultancy guideline. Prior to his administration, the issue of consultancy was done a lot on friendship, favoritism, political patronage, or whatever the case is. People who work in government had no contracts. They had no report. They had no clear line of reporting. And so when he came, he tried to bring sanctity to the process based on merit. So we have drafted the consultancy guidelines according to his appearance yesterday at the Mika press briefing. He informed the people of this country that the issue of the consultancy will be launched by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Liberia, and will be based on merit. So the issue is ongoing, and we hope that in the next few days or a week from now, we will be hiring consultant based on the need and based on merit.
Okay, expertise.
The expertise, yeah.
Okay, so I was prompted, to call you here based on the press statement issued on the was it the third day of April by your institution, stating the Civil Service Agency lifts the freeze on direct replacement as the fate of over 40,000 civil servants hangs in the balance. You want to bring us up to speed with this?
Okay, so currently the central, when we say those who work with government outside the CSA, inclusive of the civil servants, those who work for government take pay from government, we have more than 75,000 persons, inclusive of the public sector, that is the public enterprises and other areas. But on the centralized CSA payroll controlled by the Civil Service Agency, we have about 67,746 persons, and government is actually at the using 23,543 million to pay people. So one thing that happens in this light is that of those 67,746 persons, about 40,050 persons are with our proper records.
Proper records.
Yeah.
And mean credential?
Credential is inclusive. We're talking about the proper record as it relates to employment. The instrument responsible for HR for employment in the civil service of this country is a kind of tool we call the personal action notices, and it for short is the PEN.
The PEN.
Before you are enrolled to the centralized government payroll, the issue you must have been recruited through a systematic process. Firstly, if a job is available, sometimes we advertise the job. Sometimes you get employed based on your qualification, but you start up from a particular process and leading to the point at which you're supposed to be placed on payroll. We're talking about, firstly, we need to have your date of birth. Now in the system, there are a lot of more than 40,000 persons date of birth is on a question. Some of them enter the payroll not necessarily through the PEN processes, a lot by phone call, by email, just by text message, and say, okay, get the guy there. And prior to this time, we had about 44,000 persons on centralized government payroll. And in 2019, the process of harmonization started. And so there were people, although technically speaking, under the process of harmonization, we have about 300 health workers and teachers that were on supplementary payroll. We needed to have migrated them to the centralized payroll. We have other institutions that were not part of the centralized government payroll. We have to bring them on board, although that number is around 9,000 persons. But with other issues involving political patronage, nepotism, favoritism, cronyism, and others, that number went as far as allowing the centralized payroll to go to 67, almost 68,000 persons on the centralized payroll. So most of those who came between that period did not go through the personal action notice or did not go through the legal process as far as the civil service agency is concerned. And so the director general, given his background in administration, have decided to make legal and regularize the statuses of those who were placed on the payroll.
Now,
And if you were placed on the payroll without a personal action notice, like I say, we don't know your age, we don't know your qualification, we don't know a number of things about you, your information, your basic information. We don't know some people came on the payroll apparently without no high school, without no college credential, and they were given jobs. And
is it in violation?
yeah, basically it's in violation. And you have to merit the job you have. And you can get job just based on patronage or nepotism or favoritism. You have to merit it as far as the development of every individual is concerned, as far as performance and productivity is concerned. And you have to
Now,
merit.
when the CSA Director General appeared at MICAT, that was not yesterday. Prior to yesterday, he announced this, and I mean, people, especially from the side of the opposition side, people saw it as what could be turned as a witch hunt. And there were several presidents who were talking about, removing these 40,000 presidents we are talking about and all of that. And it was until the 3rd of April when you released this press statement, urging the various institutions or individuals at various institutions to work with their, human resource director. What prompted was it, you have to go in your closet or your drawing board to recalibrate, as we say, and also come up with this alternative that you give up a 90-day ultimatum.
No, normally we have been partnershiping with the Ministry of Finance and that of the General Auditing Commission. It is an advice, and normally you give up to 90 days for people to be able to regularize their statuses or to carry on their HR related processes. It's not an automatic thing. And this, firstly, let me dispel this rumor. This is void of politics. We appear here before he appeared on many media institutions, stations, and whatever the case is. He made that point that this is not about you being a unity partisan. This is not about being a sedition. This is not about being from the ANC, the ALP, or whatever political party it is. As a matter of fact, at the level of the civil service agency, one of our primary responsibilities is to depoliticize the institution. That is why when you move to the civil service agency after the elections has passed, you don't go and see partisan related politics and discussion. You don't even see party paraphernalia. People who even from other institutions that will walk there with a party paraphernalia, even a sticker, you have to be informed that this place is not a political place. So our action is squarely based on the law. It has nothing to do with political affiliation, and so we only encourage it. As a matter of fact, most of those who are talking about, if you do a statistical approach of the last elections, you'll find out that a good number of people in the civil service voted for Joseph Newman Bwaka. So why will we be targeting seditions when we talk about 44,000, a little over 44,000? Even the entire 67,000, beyond the 44,000 that we're talking about, there are other movement that may have happened in the rest of the other civil servants that make up the 67,000. The problem about the personal action notice is not just a one-shot deal. HR function is a continuous function that is pervasive. So it's not a one-shot deal. It's a deal that comes as a result. If there's a change in your status, for example, if you're with the
Labor broadcast
broad-
assistant.
and I don't know your position currently, Let me just use it as an example.
Presenter,
A presenter.
producer, and presenter.
Yeah, tomorrow you could be a supervisor. There's another, you claiming your ladder and your development. And as you leave from a presenter to being a supervisor, you have to go through the personal action notice.
Okay, so
There
it's
is a
like
change
it's like updating.
so you have to
The
regularize and update your status as you go along your professional development. So it's not like targeting anyone. It's a requirement. It's an HR requirement that we take into serious consideration.
So one can tell that even after this, there could be a possibility of some people being even upgraded. Maybe it could be promoted as well.
Yeah, our interest is that we want to run a merit-based civil service in this country. So people will be promoted based on merit, not based on political patronage, favoritism, cronyism, nepotism, and the rest of it. So and that is one of the benefits. He alluded to that yesterday. The Director General alluded to that yesterday. There are a number of benefits that come with that particular thing, and a number of risk factor that also come. Because we found out that he wants to professionalize the workforce. So if we find out that a person is professionally qualified, your promotion is easy. It's easy. Those who could be jittery, but we are not in the process of demoting anybody. We are in the process of developing people. If we know your status and we know that you have a particular status, not match a position, our interest is to make sure that we're able to develop you. He said it that he's not coming to the civil service and see a person for if he's to be there for the next 6 years or his time frame. If this person is a janitor, has a high school paper, his interest is to make sure that before he leaves the civil service agency, a janitor must have some sense of development and then promotion.
Okay.
It will be a plus to Liberia, a plus to that person to graduate from being a janitor as a high school student and then graduate from a college and be a supervisor at a particular level. That is our interest. We are interested in developing people. We are interested in training. We're interested in what? Merit-based recruitment process. And that is the reason why, like I told you about the consultancy, it is not going to be business as usual. You will not believe that there were musicians, there were former warlocks, there were security personnel, there were family members who never one day voted to any of those ministries and received a good amount of pay, even better than some ministers. Some ministers. Okay. You not believe that on the consultancy there were people making more than $7,000 doing no work. There were people in the security sector who people complain about. And in this country of being terrorizing people, were there making 3,000, 2,000, and never went to any institution. The Director General currently is actually enraged by that particular kind of spoil system, and he has decided to make sure that the consultancy is based on expertise, is based on need, it is based on merit. And I know with his firebrand and illustrious status, we are going to achieve those things.
Now, Mr. Smith, this issue about consultancy, over the period of time, we have realized that government have spent a huge amount of dollars, especially you talking about people who are not, I must say, not qualified, but they are being paid huge sum of dollars while professionals are on the job but cannot make them. To curtail this situation, Honorable Smith, do you have a plan where you can some of these individuals, the consultants, they are not regularly going at these areas to work? Can that be higher? Can that be higher on either a moment basis when there are challenges? You hire these individuals rather than giving them contracts when they are not regularly working, which could be doing some wasteful spending for government ministries and agencies.
I agree with you. It's appalling to have people who are not qualified,
because
who are
you're
not working, who are not idling. No, for the era of consultancy that the CSA control, the centralized consultancy payroll was around 9,000, almost 8,000, almost 1,000 persons on that centralized consultancy payroll. And like you said, there were people on that payroll, and like I said, there were people on that payroll that never merited, being on the payroll. So it is an appalling situation. It's something that no professional would take interest in and be happy about. So the current leadership on Honorable Josiah F. Joker Jr. have decided to bring sanctity to that payroll. You not believe that we spend more than 6.1 million United States dollar on consultancy between last year January to December, and the government cannot account for any major development through consultancy.
That
So
leaves me.
consultancy now, from the interaction of the current director general and the deputy in person of Denu Miayen, who is for administration, have decided to come up, and they did a kind of statistical analysis and thought about, I think we can spend 2.1 million all of the 6.1 2 million all of the 6.1 million.
Mhm.
So it means that government of Liberia, we have to save $4 million that could go to the health sector, the security sector, the education sector, and in other areas that could go, help provide the basic services to the Liberian people. Because the issue about government is to provide service, and so that the general population can, reap the benefit of those services provided by government.
Now, still in the pipeline, yesterday when the Director General, Mr. Josiah Jukai, appeared at the Ministry of Information press briefing, he highlighted the issue about ghost names to be a major challenge. And this is not just about this regime. It has been a very long period of time. Think you have taken over. Do you have something in the pipeline to find a remedy to this situation?
Yeah, and that is the reason why the discussion with the General Auditing Commission and Ministry of Finance is actually progressing. I was told yesterday and by the Director General that we have a breakthrough with the issue of the General Auditing Commission starting its work, interacting with the Ministry of Finance and our development partners. And so the issue of ghost name, you not believe, just on the surface, yesterday he made reference to one of the institutions, like the LRA. He made reference to the LRA, that is the Liberal Land Authority.
Mhm.
He said that there was a situation at the Liberal Land Authority that I'm aware of, and the other deputy, Honorable Mianya, is also aware of it, because he brought it to our attention and we had to do our own investigation interacting with them. But at the Liberal Land Authority, for example, you had almost 49 persons that were employed, other than the centralized group that were there, some of whom were employed based on other reasons. But you have 49 persons that were placed on that payroll, 41 of which were never seen in life at the
Wow.
institution for the last 12 months. And when this government came into being in February, it was the only time that administration realized, which is ludicrous, and realized that they have 41 person that they haven't seen for the last 12 months. But it was because of His Excellency the President has announced that there will be audit across government, whether it's financial, economic, or human resource audit. There should be audit across government to understand the status of what we were inheriting as a government. And so, like at that institution, 41 persons have been dealt with, considered ghosts, and we have never seen them. So government, from those persons taken from the payroll, government has saved at least a little over 12,000 United States dollar monthly from that side. Besides, even Liberia National Police, you will not believe that since 2000 and 2019-20, about 98 persons considered police officer has been receiving pay on the police payroll, and the police have never seen them with no record. Imagine, we are talking about the challenge in the security sector. 98 persons could be providing security, at least added to the one we have, across this country. But 98 persons, almost 16,000 United States dollar every year from 2020 to
2024.
2024 February. You would not believe that the police have never seen those people. So we're talking about 16,000 who have been saved monthly on the police payroll from that period up to now. So it's something that these are just points that we are sending across. And we would like to re-emphasize this, that the issue of employment, the issue of HR related processes
Mhm.
in government is exclusively controlled by the civil service
And
agency.
that is specifically under your division.
Yeah, but the director general is the person that has the oversight responsibility in making sure that the institution is run. So we have seen challenges, like for example at the Ministry of State, the seat of the
The
presidency.
president.
When we work with the when we work with the governance commission, the GAC, the GC, sorry, the GC. When we work with the GC, we did the mandate and function review at the Ministry of State. Based on the mandate and function of that institution, we came out and analyzing the workload, doing the workload analysis and doing staffing analysis, and staffing analysis. We came up with 333 persons fit to work with the institution, but that was in 2016. But we on the centralized period, this number left from 332
Mhm.
to 385 persons. When we quite recently we worked with the Ministry of State, we did hair count, and we believe that about 42 persons on this centralized government period did not show up, or some of them were just brought in December, and to pad the payroll in contravening the president's mandate that there should be freeze on employment.
Mhm.
At the Ministry of State, there were additional people brought, of which the director general said across government, all those who came in that period, especially at the end of November, December, and January, will be blocked from the payroll. And so besides that, one point I was trying to send across, besides the 385 persons on centralized government payroll, it was uncovered. We have more than 720 persons on what quote unquote supplementary period that
Now,
came to a close in 2019.
what is this supplementary payroll?
There should be no supplementary payroll. The issue of supplementary payroll came to a close in 2019. That was why the harmonization, if you had to migrate people to the centralized payroll, there was a decision that all payroll related issues on a centralized government should be controlled by the civil service agency.
Now, Mr. Smith,
So
with the supplementary also bringing a very huge weight, on the budget, especially with wages. Do you think with the harmonization, this supplementary payroll also had an effect on it as well?
yeah, basically it did not in no way had any real weight. It was just the additional persons that were added to the payroll based on mandate and other things, because the current, you talk about in 2019, right?
Yeah, 2019.
In 2019, it was not a major weight on the payroll, because the payroll strength was around 2000. We arrived at around 290 million to 300 million at the time, and that was what we agreed with our development partners to be able to control. To circumvent this number, the last government decided to again create supplementary period that it has agreed to close. And it was just discovered like at the Ministry of State and other institutions. The Ministry of State is just one of the key areas, because that is where we have worked, and we're also doing some work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we will be with health and all other institutions. We noticed that you have more than 700 persons have resurfaced on supplementary payroll, and was controlled. They called in consultant. They said they were consultant. They had contracts, but when we review working with the Ministry of State, and we understand that there were no contracts available for those people. Understanding from the Ministry of State, there were no contracts, valid contracts. There were no time frame for those people. And basically, from the civil service angle, anyone who did not go through the process, who is now centralized government payroll, it means that if there's a change in regime or there's a change in administration at the particular ministry, that service turn to see that service cease to exist, except the minister decides that he or she needs additional persons to work. And this time we are saying, as per the mandate of the civil service, if anyone is to be hired, whether on centralized government payroll or through any means, and receiving remuneration, salary or wage from the government of Liberia, the civil service agency must be aware, because that is our mandate. and under the leadership of Honorable Josiah F. Joket Jr., that mandate must be respected. And there's no ministry, and the president alluded to that fact in the last cabinet retreat, that every government institution under the control of the civil service agency has nothing to do with HR related issues and must liaise with the civil service agency.
Okay.
And so we are prepared, we are ready to make sure that the issue of human resource management and policy related issues are addressed fully and on time.
Now, this issue about working with the human resource directors at these various government ministries, agencies, and also commissions, HRs at times, they might be either lackadaisical and may cross this 90-day deadline. Similar to the situation what the Ministry of Finance did, penalizing some controllers as well. Do you have, spelled out penalties for some of these HRs who may not live up to the 90 days ultimatum you have set up?
Yes, but the first thing, our interest is the issue of sanction, a negative sanction or punishment, is at the tail end of our interaction. Although yes, anybody who doesn't live in the confines of the law, according to the Director General, must bear the consequences of a ridiculous flippancy. But where we are currently is to get the work done in 90 days. It is something that we are going to work with every HR, our office, the technician, the Department of Employment Services, and that of payroll. We have mustered the courage, interacting with the Ministry of Finance, providing the resources. We have mustered the courage that we are going to meet the 90 days deadline. Let me be very frank. If you are already on payroll, why is it difficult to give us the time you were born? Why is it difficult for you to tell us if you were married, if you are married or you're not married? Why is it difficult to give us your qualification? If you say you graduated from Katura Kari High School, how long does it take you to get the people from Katura Kari High School that you graduated from? And we are not saying this process is a haphazard process that Goligio can just come and say, apparently he graduated from AMU or he graduated from the United Methodist University, and just come and bring some kind of people in the HR and say, okay, this is the file, we have everything about Goligio, and then we are encouraging the HR to be able to vet those credentials that are coming. So if you brought your degree from the United Methodist University, how difficult is the welfare department of your HR to be able to do a follow-up? We want to professionalize the workforce, to provide the efficiency and to produce the kind of productivity that will allow the Liberian people to have the kind of services they need. So the issue is not a difficult one. 90 days, that is 3 months. We gave you 3 months to be able to just bring 7 or 9 related items, including your age, including your marital status, if you have kids, if you graduate from this place, or it is even beneficial to you, because it is based on that you are going to get your just benefit when you shall have retired or be or you are redundant or whatever the case is. It doesn't question your legality as a person working with government. It even gave you, put it in a particular framework that says that, okay, I'm a legal person in the employ of government.
Okay, just before we go to the line, the issue about lifting the freeze on direct replacement, what is that?
All right, so the Director General has spoken, and that is a policy. That is a policy that we must carry on. But this is something I must add, as per his advice, is that while it's true that we are lifting on direct replacement, but we are aware, we are conscious that the national budget hasn't been passed. We are just operating on 1/12, and the resource envelope, because we work with the Ministry of Finance, especially the Department of Budget, the resource envelope is tight, and so we are not saying that because a driver, sorry, I would use a driver dies, meaning that you can replace a driver immediately. There are a number of drivers in those institutions that don't have cars to drive. So if a driver dies, we are not honor obligation, because that position is available, that you want to hire a driver immediately, even if there's no need for a driver at this point. We are saying direct replacement comes with the need that this person that is being replaced is performing a kind of service that is necessary for the institution. As soon as the budget is passed, all other positions are going to be filled. We are going to live on a number of things, and that is also going to come after we have done a comprehensive human resource payroll and payroll management audit. So for direct the replacement, yes, direct replacement, yes, we are going to, but direct replacement is actually based on the significance of the position, given the resource constraint at the Ministry of Finance.
Okay, folks in Radio Land, if you have just joined us, you're listening.
We are also encouraging the institution to make use of the workforce.
Okay.
And there are people who are there may not have a lot of work to do. You can be able to make use of that particular workforce for now.
Okay. All right. So, folks, if you have just joined us, you're listening to the Super Morning Show here on ELBC Radio FM 99.9. Our guest here is the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management and Policy at the Civil Service Agency of Liberia. Darlington Smith is here with us this morning, and we are talking too many issues in the Civil Service of Liberia. If you want to participate, you can dial 0776 740673, 0776 740673, or 0880 514096. Let's put our first caller through here. And I know we have too many. Morning, welcome. Okay, just hold on. I don't know what's going on here. I'm sure we can get this caller coming through. Call us on 0776 740673 or 0880 514096, and we have this caller on the line. Morning, welcome.
Good morning. I'm Joe Blamanjana. I call from Kenya. What's fine?
Go ahead.
Good morning, Honorable Smith, Comrade. This is one of the students that are retiring from. I want to appreciate it also much for the discussion. I think library is on a good footing, but my concern has to do with because I didn't encourage speaking about students that will return back. What would be the fate that to get inclusive include within the government to contribute to the country.
Okay,
so,
thank you.
Thank you very much.
You will respond to that. Let's do it bit and pieces. Let's talk to this one in 30 seconds. Morning, welcome.
Yeah, good morning. My name is F. Amos Sele. I call you from District 2 Christian Community Resident. And thank you very much to Professor Darlington Smith. Your ability at that ministry is on top, because we have known you for the past time. Even when you were teaching at the AMU University, you are a straightforward person. Look, with no favor and fear, the payroll need to be a vibrant tool for our country. Liberia, we spend more money on salaries.
Okay.
Some people got job but no work.
Thank you.
What's the essence? Thank you very much for what you are doing at the ministry.
Thank you. At the agency, let's talk. Oh my word! You can't do this to us. Walk away from your monitor. We appreciate you for doing that. Let's talk to this caller on the Lone Star. Morning. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you live. Go ahead. What's the name? Where you join us from?
Yeah, my name is I call you from New York community.
Let's hear you.
Yeah. Your still girl has said, I said it because I know why I go way home when the people want for everything to be script. They say you should regularize your status to show your 3 point for now. So for according to vision,
Okay.
for me, I can understand.
Thank you. Let's talk to this next caller on the line, and then we go back to our studio guest. Let's pick up 2. Morning. Okay, this one drop. I don't know what's going on. Let's talk to this caller. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, you live. Go ahead.
Yeah, Marcus Shannon calling from Kawa. Yeah. 2006, 2006, actually, one man was to clean the field down south people that the only way to a lot of development to place on the road, everything. So you can get people all on the field and not even where me or 8 hours and look at 30% on the list. So the cleaning of the field is very, very necessary.
necessary.
Okay, very, very necessary. Let's talk to the next caller. Moni, welcome.
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead. What's the name? Where you join us from?
This is Joshua Toto. I join you from Central Monrovia.
Go ahead.
Let me say good morning to Honorable Darlington Smith. I want to inquire regarding a specific issue concerning the Labrador Land Authority. Hello.
Yes, you're live. Just go ahead.
The director for administration at the Human Resources at the Land Authority, Mr. Ayu William, was dismissed after an investigation by the Land Authority, after an internal investigation. Now CSA is saying that Ayu William cannot be removed on the payroll until the national audit is conducted. So how does he speak to that?
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you. We just talked to this one in 30 seconds. We'll go back to our guest. Morning. Okay, too bad. We lost our this caller. So let's go back to our guest here. Mr. Smith, you listen to a lot of the callers commending you, but some raised concern. One with the students who return to the country.
All right, so like we are concerned on the leadership of Honorable Josiah F. Joket Jr. We are concerned about the qualified librarians who have returned from abroad studying to have a job and to be able to contribute to the country's growth and development. Prior to the elections that brought in President Weah, we used to have a bilateral scholarship host at the Civil Service Agency. And it was intended because when people are being sent outside the country by the government, it is a civil service that has that right to employ them or to place them based on their competence and qualification. But it was taken to the Ministry of Education, where the CSA has no control. So people are sent without no knowledge to the Civil Service Agency, and it's one of the plans of the administration on Honorable Joket. He is saying that he's going to make sure that we talk to the Ministry of Education to bring back that bilateral scholarship to the Civil Service Agency. But that will be able to monitor and track the development of those persons who go out. As the government send you out when you are coming, we will be able to, prior to your coming, maybe a year or 6 months to your coming, we will be able to find a place to see if you return, you can be placed to contribute. But without that, it is a difficult thing for us. And it is my hope that we're going to achieve that in the soonest time possible. But for those who have returned, we are hoping that after the payroll audit has been done, those institutions that they may have been with, some of whom have been with some institutions that left, and we'll see what can be done. Some of whom, without any institution, we're still having some discussions around that and see how those persons can contribute.
The next caller talked
about the land authority. We like I told you from the onset, if you look at the Land Authority Act, the payroll or administration, nothing happens in the administration without the commission, the executive director, and the chairman, the working chairman on the board of commissions and other commissions. And so for the last 2 years at that institution, there were people who were placed on the payroll, ghosts, people who were now working, people salaried were just arbitrarily topped up without no qualification. And our audit is saying that there is no one that is going to be promoted, demoted, or even dismissed, especially in the context of payroll until we conduct a forensic payroll and payroll management audit, HR audit. If that is done, anyone who is culpable or who is liable for that, we can get people coming and transferring HRs and dismissing HR to cover up. We are saying that when the auditors and those of CSA go to do the payroll audit, those HR must be available to answer questions. We are not going to make sure that one HR is out and we say, we dismiss that man already. Then when we ask questions, they say, we know that man, we dismiss everything, and we can't call the man back. We are saying that every HR will hold on. Why are you people in rush to say you want to dismiss somebody, especially the HR for payroll parting? Can one person part a payroll? The issue of payroll is from the Civil Service Agency, the Ministry of Finance, and your institution. There is no or payroll approved without the payroll is approved by the head of entity. So how do you blame the HR for piling payroll and at the head of entity is going to dismiss you after about 2 years of misbehavior on the payroll? So when he or she get to know that only the HR was involved, so we are saying for now we are holding on to dismissal in relation to the issue of payroll piling. As soon as the audit is done, those who are responsible, the necessary sanction will be taken. You know,
Okay.
that is the situation about LRA, and I just hope that the chairperson will understand and he will approve the payroll.
Okay, Mr. Smith, let's
Yeah.
have your parting comment. Then we wrap up here this morning.
All right. So basically, like I said, the director general is interested in reforming the institution, and that will go across the government. The issue of the pen process, the regularizing the status of more than 40,000 persons is something that we are committed to doing. And we are also committed to making sure that people who have work will have job to perform, tax to perform, and so the issue of time and attendance is going to be taken into serious consideration. He announced yesterday that starting from this April month and April and May, any individual who will not go to work on time or who will be absent from work without any excuse, the M&E section of the Civil Service Agency is going to verify the attendance roster and make sure that if you don't come to work, you have to bear the consequences of some salary deduction or whatever the case is. If you miss work for 14 consecutive days without no genuine laconic excuse, and it means that automatically you're outside. You yourself have sacked yourself.
Okay.
So on the Civil Service Agency, those who are in government can get prepared to do the work and to be able to provide the necessary goods and services for the people, for the general public.
Okay.
Do it.
What is how we will go home here on this week's presentation of the program, the Super Morning Show here on ELBC Radio FM 99.9. Our guest has been the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management at the Civil Service Agency, Honorable Darlington Smith. Thanks to you for being a part. Do have yourself a wonderful, God bless, good day. My name is Taka Goligio. Until next Friday, bye-bye for now.